Hello interwebs, this is Trinity, and this video is going to be about Pewdiepie, actually. Part of the I Stand with Pewdiepie hashtag that is going around. As I'm sure everybody knows, unless you've been completely living under a rock, in which case you need to at least lift your head enough to bang your head on that rock so that you can become aware. That PewDiePie has been dropped by Disney and is no longer going to have Scare PewDiePie on YouTube Red. Now, all of this, for me, ties in with a much, much bigger picture of things that are happening in the world right now regarding the suppression of free speech, in another video I want to get into in more depth the riot at Berkeley that took place here a couple weeks back, but this video specifically is in support of him. Now, I was a fan of his for several years, and as, is wont to happen as content changed and whatnot, I kind of drifted off and, hadn't been watching him as much. But regardless of whether you like his content or don't like his content or feel meh about his content, I think that we can all come together to support the idea that free speech is incredibly important. And whenever it is put in danger, I think that that is a huge, huge red flag and a sign that everyone needs to come together and do their part. Do their part to prevent that from becoming the norm. I think that as American citizens, global citizens, but I live in the USA. Sorry for saying America. I should say USA. If you're living in the USA, that's where I am, so that's the rights that I am fighting for, our constitutional rights. And this isn't the first time recently where we've seen those come under fire. This just happens to be one of the times where the individual is such a prominent figure and has such a large audience. He's the number one, he's the face of YouTube. And he really is, like him or hate him, an inspiration to show anyone that they can do anything. He's a self-made individual, donates millions to charity. And all he wants to do is make people smile. How anyone can take issue with that is beyond me. This man is not a political figure. He's not out there, creating controversy just to create controversy or stirring up trouble. He's a YouTube gamer and a comedy skit writer and performer and a commentator on just little things, funny things in life. For anybody that doesn't know, he did a video a little while back for about a website called Fiverr, which is a goofy kind of website where basically you can buy anything just about for $5. And he went through, and the comedy of the video was to show just how ridiculous you could get. And he put these, picked out these different services on Fiverr and put in like these ridiculous requests and did a video on the responses and, what went through, what got rejected. And one of the things that he put through that he did not think, you could tell, if you watch the video, you can tell he did not think that this was going to go through. But there are these, I think they're called like the Jungle Guys or something like that. And it was holding up a sign while like dancing in the jungle. And on it said, "Death to Jews," or "Death to the Jews." You could tell if you watched the video, he was in shock that that happened. He was absolutely in shock that it went through. And might I say, it was hilarious. It had nothing to do with anti-Semitism. It had nothing to do with hate speech. It literally was just about him putting down the most ridiculous thing that he could think of. And lo and behold, though he expected it to be rejected, it wasn't. He was in the video that he put it in, he apologized instantly. You know, there was never a moment where he acted as though, oh, I think that that's a good thing. But he was honest. He was an honest man. He could have chosen not to make that video. He could have chosen, when he saw the results come back through, to kind of bury them and act like it never happened. But he didn't. And whether you find it funny or not, the internet has been a free place for all of us. And we have fought, those of us especially from when the internet was younger, fought to keep it free, to keep the government out of it, to keep censorship out of it. And on a broader topic, we're speaking about comedy here, and this idea that you can tell people what's okay to joke about and what isn't. That's not acceptable. Okay? That's never acceptable. You don't have to like it. You don't have to find it funny. But to say, because I am offended by this joke, I am going to cause such a fuss, I'm going to cause such an issue that I'm going to attempt to ruin someone's life, and in fact, succeed in doing so for the individuals that were working on Scare Pewdiepie. Literally hundreds of people lost their jobs. They lost their livelihood because of this. Now, he has come out with a response statement. I was even one of the millions of people that had commented when this was going on, saying to him, do not back down. Do not apologize for who you are. Don't let them destroy comedy. You have such a voice. You get to speak for all of us that don't have that kind of platform. And, if they get you, they're going to get the rest of us little guys. They're going to get every creator of any kind. I, myself, when I was, I'm a singer and a songwriter. I had a band when I was younger for several years and did the bar scene and all of that. It doesn't take very long before that kind of stuff, the PC, the excessive PC-ness of it, spreads to all vectors of creation, for all creative individuals. This idea that free speech, yeah, it's free speech, but only for the speech we approve. That's not how it works. Free speech is either free or it's not. And you find these SJWs, these liberals, and when I say liberals, please understand, I'm speaking of the radicalized, I'm speaking of the extremes here. These individuals, they want to police your language. They want free speech for themselves. But while they are pointing and calling fascist out of one side of their mouth, they are being the fascist, censoring, saying, you can't do that. Oh, you better not say that. Oh, did he say that bad word? And we're not just talking about they're offended or they're complaining. These individuals are taking action to have people fired, to have people's reputations destroyed, to really actively affect restriction on our language. This isn't just an overreaction people are having to, a news headline claiming that PewDiePie is an anti-Semite. Oh, goodness gracious. No, this is bigger than that, because it wasn't just a headline. The man has just lost a job. The man has just had his YouTube Red series canceled. And that has affected his life, his ability to continue to donate more money to charity, and all of the people that were working on it that had nothing to do with it. So I'm making this particular video in complete and total solidarity with PewDiePie and his response with middle fingers in the air, saying he is not going to back down. He is not going to let mainstream media dictate what he does and what he doesn't. He has owned the responsibility for the mistakes he's made. He has made it abundantly clear that he will learn from his mistakes and carry those things into the future. But that comedy is not up for debate. And he may not have been a hero of mine before, but he is definitely a hero of mine now. So, free speech for everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and I am Trinity. Bye-bye.